wake up, not dramatically, no sirens, no emergency broadcasts, just another Tuesday. The house is quiet. You walk into the kitchen. The coffee machine starts humming. You unlock your phone. A war, a flood, a company cutting 10,000 jobs, a headline about AI replacing workers, a guy on YouTube explaining why civilization is collapsing, then another guy explaining why it's already collapsed. The coffee still isn't ready, and somehow, before your day has even started, the world already feels heavy. The strange part? Nothing in your actual life changed. Your family is okay, your home is okay, the sky outside looks exactly the same as it did yesterday. But something feels off, like you're carrying a weight you can't quite locate. And the strange thing is, you are. You just can't see it. So let's go find it. For almost all of human history, your world was small. Not simple, small. If someone was suffering, you probably knew their name. You saw their face. You passed them on the path. You shared meals with them. Their problems entered your life slowly, through conversation, through proximity, through reality, not through a glowing rectangle while waiting for coffee. If something terrible happened, it happened close enough to matter, close enough to touch, and sometimes close enough to help. The problems were real, but they had edges. They had a location. And usually, they had something you could actually do. That's the brain you're using right now, the exact same one. No major upgrades, no redesign, no new operating system. And every morning, we point that ancient piece of equipment at the entire planet. Before breakfast, you can learn about a drought in one country, a missile strike in another, political unrest somewhere else, a market crash, a natural disaster, a disease outbreak, a prediction about the future, a warning about the future, a completely different morning that contradicts the first warning, all in less time than it takes coffee to brew. Your ancestors spent their entire lives knowing a few hundred people. You can absorb the problems of billions before 8 in the morning, and your brain doesn't really understand what's happening, because your brain doesn't understand distance. It understands threat. That's it. When you read about a disaster happening 10,000 kilometers away, part of your nervous system reacts as if it matters right now. Not because you're irrational, because that reaction kept your ancestors alive. Pay attention, stay alert, prepare. That system worked beautifully when danger was local. A strange sound in the bushes, smoke on the horizon, a storm moving toward the village. Now that same system is trying to process the entire planet. There is always another headline, another crisis, another emergency, another reason to stay alert, another reason to keep scrolling. And that's what most people are doing. Not because they're addicted to information, because some ancient part of the brain is convinced the next piece of information might finally make everything make sense, or make everything safe. But it never does. So you keep looking, and then something quietly breaks. Because the more you learn, the less you can do about any of it. You know about wars you can't stop, economies you can't influence, disasters you can't prevent, problems you can't solve. You know more than any human being who has ever lived, and almost none of it is actionable. Awareness grows, but your ability to act doesn't, and that's the weight. That's the thing sitting in the kitchen with you. That's the thing hiding behind the feeling that something is wrong. Your brain starts treating awareness like responsibility. If I know about it, I should do something. But you can't. So the feeling never finishes. It never closes. It never gets resolved. It just keeps running. Like dozens of browser tabs open somewhere in the background, consuming energy, taking up space, making everything feel slightly heavier than it should. People often say the world has always been like this. And they're right. Wars aren't new. Disasters aren't new. Human suffering isn't new. What's new is the delivery system. For the first time in history, your brain receives a live feed of humanity's worst moments. All of them, at once. No distance, no delay, no recovery time. 100 years ago, tragedy arrived by letter. Today, it arrives as a notification, while the coffee is still dripping. So if you sometimes feel a low, constant sense that something is wrong, even when nothing around you is, that might not be a flaw. It might not be anxiety. It might not be weakness. It might simply be the most reasonable response imaginable to an unreasonable amount of input. This isn't an argument for caring less. Caring is the good part. It's the reason any of this affects us at all. It's just worth remembering what this brain was actually built for. It was built to care deeply about a small number of people whose lives it could actually touch. Somewhere along the way, we confused being informed with carrying everything. Those were never the same thing. The human mind evolved for a village, not a planet. So maybe the strange feeling that the world is always ending isn't you breaking. Maybe it's just a Stone Age brain doing its oldest job while connected to the entire world in real time. And honestly, handling it better than it has any right to. This has been The Normal Problem.